Good afternoon, everyone. This is Alvaro Cortez Jr., also known as Lance Danger. Just wanted to do a relatively quick stream, or at least I hope it doesn't go over half an hour like the last few streams have done. This is just something I wanted to talk about since I've been hearing it quite a bit lately, whether it's good or not to be competitive in comic books or just in arts in general. I have a few things to say about that, of course, but before I do, let me just get some promo out of the way if you don't mind. All right. I'm still navigating through how exactly. There we go. All right, please go to indieplanet.com where you will find the finest selections of self-published comics and also the Truthful Comics catalog of comics as well. You can see here Project New Wave, issue number 1 by Manuel Carmona and Francisco Rivera. It is on sale for $3.99 for the printed version, or you can buy the digital download for 99 cents. You can download it pretty much immediately. They will send you a link with the PDF. Also, usually they will give you the link as soon as you pay for it, right on when you check out, when you go to your profile at indiecomics.com. As you can see here, there are some pages that are on preview here. Excellent stuff by Manuel Carmona and Francisco Rivera. Right, yes, one more second here. Right, just looking for the rest of the pages. Right, here we go. This is Project New Wave issue number 2. Art also by Manuel Carmona and Francisco Rivera. The story is written by yours truly. And just like with issue number 1, $3.99 for the printed copy, 99 cents for the digital download. Again, you can see some pages on preview here as well. Absolutely gorgeous stuff by the art team of Manuel Carmona and Francisco Rivera. And if you download the Comic House app, you can actually read those comics there as well from the comfort of your electronic device. And Comic House would be spelled COMICHAUS. So it is a UK-based application. It's pretty much the Netflix of comic books. You can download that app, and I believe for $5 a month, you have access to the entire catalog of indie books that are available there. There are actually some big name creators on that, indie creators on that app as well. So you can definitely check that out. Give Project New Wave a read. Soon I'm going to be uploading my catalog of comics into Comic House as well. So it's going to be a Truthful Comics party up in there. Right, right. I know this is probably going a little bit slower than I would like, but at the same time, I'm still maneuvering, getting used to. Oh, I think I can do this instead. Okay, let me see, because I have heard that it can actually crash if you're not careful when you're screen sharing stuff on this app on this as well. So hopefully this will make it quicker. Yes, I see that it's actually working. So going on to my catalog of stuff, here is Stupid the Cat. That is the latest release from Truthful Comics. It is Stupid the Cat, Ain't It the Life Truthful Comics edition. The first 3 strips of the comic were completely redone for this printing of this comic, this mini comic. Is completely in color. Here are some preview pages. Like, it's a little squished on the preview page, mostly because it had to be compressed because of the size on the comic on the website. But it's actually going to be a landscape comic. So you have to, like, excuse me, put it down. You just have to put it sideways to read it, kind of like a comic book strip. So that's why it's a little bit compressed here on the preview pages, but it is full color. That's why it's also a little, costs a little more than the other mini comics I've done. This is $3 for the printed version, but as always, the digital download is going to be 99 cents, so you can check that out as well. Oh yes, this is much faster. I love learning stuff, I guess. Right here is Nevermind, the original 12-strip collection from 2007. The title pretty much says it all. This collects the original strip from the very first run of Nevermind. I was able to recover a PDF of the original comic, so I was able to edit it so that it can be read better in a much better definition. As you can see here in the preview pages, this is pretty much what you will be reading, whether you get the physical copy or the digital download. Printed copy, $2, digital download, as well 99 cents. There are 12 autobiographical strips. It's very sketchy, very experimental. This is actually the first webcomic I ever made, so there's that. And there is the Nevermind Truthful Comics edition, which is the remake of those original 12 strips with completely new art, completely new lettering. I tweaked a little bit the story so that it can flow a little better as well, but I didn't fix it that much, just enough for it to be understood better. As you can see, the art is a lot more modern. It's still indie, but it's a lot more clearer now, especially the lettering as well. So I actually really, really liked how this came out. And also a bit of news. Season 2 of Nevermind Truthful Comics Edition hopefully will be starting this Sunday over at the Facebook page of Nevermind. I'll show you guys the page a little bit later on. And of course, $2 for the printed copy, 99 cents for the digital download. As for Fred Peterson, the Mighty Warlord, this is the original copy printings of it, the Studio 22 version of Fred Peterson, the Mighty Warlord. The Book one prologue, $2.50 for print, 99 cents for the digital download. Again, you can see some of the preview pages here. Again, all this is on indieplanet.com, indie with a Y. And there is the Mighty Warlord webisodes, which collect pretty much, yes, a couple of short stories that flesh out some of the main characters a little bit more. It appears in color here, but the comic itself is actually in black and white. Though I'm thinking if I'm able to find, I think I have most of the original pages with me actually of the webisodes. I think I may do a revamped version later on if I actually do. I have to double check that in my folders of the Art of Warlord that survived. It will be kind of cool to reissue this one in full color for print. As I say, it says here it is in black and white, $1.99 for the physical copy, but you can download it for free, the digital download. So you can head on over there, create your account at indieplanet.com, and you can just download the webisodes for free, just to like get a taste of what the comic's about, more or less. And here is issue number 1 of Warlord, full color, 32. Well, it's 32 pages, but it's really like about 24, 25 because I included a couple of extra pages that weren't in the web comic at the time. $4.99 for the physical copy. As always, 99 cents for the download. Here is some preview pages. There's so many things I can improve on this page in particular that's on the screen, but I'm still kind of proud of that page actually. Also, issue number 2 of Fred Peterson, The Mighty Warlord of the original Studio 22 era. As well, $4.99 for the physical copy, 99 cents for the digital download. And I know it says $4.75 on the cover for both issues 1 and 2. At the time, it was $4.75. But due to some changes on the website, I can't charge less than $4.99 now for those 2 issues. So I'm likely going to have to either change the covers or something later on for that. But I also want to like make it clear that it is not $4.75, but in fact $4.99 for the physical copy, and again 99 cents for the digital download. This is one of my favorite Warlord pages, by the way. Just Fred rocking out to La Secta All-Star. That's how you should start your weekends. That's how you should start your week. That's how you should start every waking moment of your life, with La Secta All-Star. And last but not least, you can visit my Redbubble page. It is Serene Chaos, the Art of Lance Danger. There's a Mighty Warlord t-shirt there. I haven't promoted it much, but because I got sick, I had COVID actually, and food poisoning when I actually started uploading the stuff here, and I was about to promote it. So I wasn't able to give it proper promotion and whatnot, but here it is. My Redbubble store. You can check out the this design for this t-shirt. Since it's Redbubble, of course, the design is available on other apparel as well. And I'm going to be doing new designs soon. So that's something to look forward to, hopefully. And if you want to like check out the live streams on YouTube, you can go to my channel. My channel is Lance Danger as well there. You can go, you can check the previous live streams. I've been kind of fixing up the thumbnails and descriptions and whatnot on the previous videos as well. Right now, it finally got to 75 subscribers, making it the biggest YouTube channel in the world. So I'm aiming to make it to 80 subscribers soon. And by August, hopefully, I'll get that 1 million subscribers. It is totally possible and plausible. So it's going to be a great big party when that happens. It's going to be the greatest birthday gift ever. You know, you have to excuse me. I am a Leo after all. So check out my channel. You can see videos of trailers for my web comics. You can hear my thoughts on some things and topics. You can watch videos of exhibits that I've been a part of, and just talking about comics and poetry and whatnot. So there is a lot of videos there. I've been on YouTube for, wow, I think it's been maybe since around 2007 as well. I've been on YouTube for a long time. I just haven't really gone into it yet. If you see some stuff on the page that usually doesn't appear on YouTube, I do have TubeBuddy installed. That is a extension that you can use to kind of track your progress on YouTube, that gives you suggestions to like fix SEOs, keywords, and tags and whatnot to kind of help with your exposure to your channel and your videos. It's actually a very interesting thing. Just one brief moment here. Okay, so yeah, Lance Danger on YouTube. You can look me up. The banner is going to say Serene Chaos, the Art of Lance Danger. All right, and now with all that chilling out of the way, I just kind of want to talk about briefly the whole competition thing that I've been hearing a lot lately. And I'm not really sure where this is coming from, to be honest. Right, before I get into that, let me just grab a quick drink of water. As always, I am here to remind you to please hydrate, especially now that it's summertime, the weather's getting hotter. You need to cool yourself down, and besides, drinking water is healthy. And it's very refreshing as well. So let's talk about competition. This is a pretty interesting question for me because I've been seeing it a lot lately in different posts around Twitter, Instagram, and whatnot, YouTube, about yes, competition and how comic books shouldn't be competitive, how art shouldn't be competitive, that comic books should be a community and whatnot. And I guess I can kind of see where that thought comes from. The comic book quote unquote community isn't like a big community to begin with, at least not as big as it used to be. Like, I think it was a lot bigger during the heyday of the 90s, probably late 80s, when the whole industry started to grow a lot and sell comics in the millions of units and whatnot. And it used to be kind of like arena rock back then, and now it's kind of like small intimate jazz sessions in pubs and whatnot. So it's interesting that now there's this kind of, that I've been seeing over the past couple of years, but more so in the past week or so, about how comics shouldn't be a competition, art shouldn't be a competition, that no creator should be competing against another. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just me because I was raised in a very competitive environment. I mean, my father, he used to want me to be an athlete when I was a kid. So, of course, we didn't miss baseball games, football games. And when I say football, I mean the actual sport that you play with your foot, not all that NFL bullshit, you know. And, a lot of boxing as well. So I grew up with a very competitive mindset even when I was a little kid. And I think competition really isn't a bad thing, at least when it's done in a healthy way. There is such a thing as good competition, like good faith competition and healthy competition. I think it's something that kind of helps elevate things in a good way. I mean, if there wasn't competition back in the day, would Marvel and DC Comics have elevated into the two big mainstream companies that they were? And when I say were, I'm not saying that they're still not the top two, but obviously over the years, and especially last year with the pandemic, things kind of reshuffled a little bit, and the entire atmosphere has changed in a way. A lot more people are a lot more open to indie comics and doing their own comics as well. And it just makes me think about just that, like, why is competition so bad? I mean, I can see competition being bad if that's the only reason that you're doing a comic. Like, you're doing a comic out of spite or just because you want to be better than someone. Like, yeah, that's kind of bad. That's kind of a bad way to, well, not bad, like, if that's your main base of inspiration, go ahead. Like, the more comics out there, the better, I guess. But if, like, competition is the only driving force, then it becomes a tunnel vision, and you won't be able to probably excel as much as you probably can do if you're just doing the comic because there's a story you want to tell and there's no other way to do it than doing it yourself. When I say I'm a competitive person, when I apply that competitiveness into comic book and arts, it isn't so much like I want to destroy all the other creators around me. Like, that's not what the competition to me personally would be about. It's more about, like, oh, this colleague did something really cool with this concept. This is something that I could probably apply myself to elevate my own game even further as well. To me, competition helps elevate people when done properly, because I don't want to, like, destroy my competitors or whatever, drink wine out of those skulls after I outsell all of them or anything like that. It's something more subtle than that. It's a lot more nuanced than simply quote unquote beating someone else at something. Again, to me it's about elevation and elevating your own creativity and your own mindset. Whenever I see a fellow colleague prosper with their comic, I'm the first one to be happy. I'm one of the first ones to say congratulations, that's awesome. And I seriously mean it because making comics is not an easy thing to do. So whenever someone actually does a comic and puts it out there for the world to see, that's something beautiful to behold, man. Like, seriously. And I really do mean that. And again, the competition therein lies for me is, again, if I see something that I can apply for myself, something that I noticed that another creator is um, doing, I would hate to say the word better, something different than what you're doing yourself. And it kind of helps you kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture and think like, wow, this creator is excelling in an area where I am weak, and I would like to grow stronger in that area. So seeing this out there inspires me to elevate in the areas where I'm weak myself. Not so much to outshine the other creator, but to feel more of a complete creator myself. It's not lack of confidence. It's not like thinking that you're less than someone just because someone else does something better than what you would like to do yourself. It's having that self awareness and that open mindedness that there are people that are going to do things better than you in certain areas. And it's up to you to either, accept that you can't do better than what you're doing now and just kind of stay like on a steady line, or you can just go out of your comfort zone and you know challenge yourself to do something that you're not that great at particularly, but that you want to grow into as well. And there's nothing wrong either if you want to just stay the line and not work on things that you're weak on, because I definitely understand that working on something that you're weak on creatively takes a lot of effort and a big learning curve depending on what it is. So the other way that you can overcome that is, if you don't want to put all that extra effort into, say, backgrounds or something. You're not particularly great on background, but you're great at drawing anatomy and drawing facial expressions. One thing you can also do is that you put all that energy into the figure drawing and the line art itself and make it so good that the rest really won't even be that noticeable. So that's another way to look at it as well. And it's all healthy competition in that sense. Like, I would seriously like to know, like, if somebody listens to this later on and has their own idea on why competition would be bad for comics and arts in general. I would love if you would leave a comment explaining why. And again, this isn't a thing of where you're going to be wrong and I'm going to be right. This is just me expressing my own personal opinion on this matter and giving just a different kind of perspective on this topic, because I do believe that competition to an extent does help create and foster a creative environment where everyone helps everyone else elevate each other. A rising tide raises everyone. So I do think that competition in healthy doses can definitely provide that creativity and foster and encourage that creativity and personal growth as well. So definitely let me know in the comments if you think differently, or if there's a bigger reason on why competition would be a bad thing within comic books or the arts and whatnot. Because this is something I've even seen industry professionals in the mainstream kind of be at odds with as well. Speaking for myself, as I said, like, if I see something that's going to encourage me to become a better creator, then I'm going to aim for that. Aim for the moon and you'll land on a star at least, because it'll force you to get out of your comfort zone and do things that you probably wouldn't do to begin with. Like right now, once I finish doing some of the chapters for Fred Peterson, The Mighty Warlord TC edition, I am considering doing crowdfunding to do like the trade paperbacks for it or like the collected editions for it. And of course, when you talk about crowdfunding and you look at all these comics that have broken records within the past year, stuff like Berserker, Icarus and the Sun, Cyberfrog, and before anyone like raises a red flag because I mentioned Cyberfrog, like I don't want to get into the whole quote unquote politics or drama of what even mentioning the comic entails. If anyone really wants to know my opinion about all that, I can definitely make a separate video on it. But right now, I just want to talk about, competition. And you can't talk about competition wanting to see something as a goal to break without mentioning Cyberfrog, because it is one of the highest grossing crowd-funded comic book projects of all time. And when you look at it, Berserker for Boom Studios, that broke that record. For a while, Icarus and the Sun, I believe it was called, from that artist that likes to do Teen Titans illustrations on Instagram, and eventually actually did a graphic novel with DC Comics that actually set back the Kickstarter, I believe it was, that the artist had done. And if you want to go further, you see Tom McFarlane with his action figure remake of Spawn. You see all that, and it is kind of encouraging. Like, I see that, and my first thought is, I want to do this and I want to make more money than them, just on principle alone, because that's how much I believe in my own property and I want it to succeed. And if it has some measure of success, then I can like go back to the base and tell everyone else, like, okay, it may not work for everyone, but at least this is what I did and it worked for me. So here's the blueprint, everyone. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's have Puerto Rico take over the independent comic book industry and yes, have a blast doing it. Because I can't really sleep well at night thinking that people like Keanu Reeves and Ethan Van Sciver, and I believe Gabriel Piccolo is the name of the artist of Icarus and the Sun, and they're doing so much better than me. It's like, no, I want my comic to be up there too, And it's not to like demean them or deplatform them or say that I'm better than them. I just want to carve my own niche, I want to put my initials on that big tree of creativity as well. I'd say Warlord was here or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on competition in comics. Like, I personally think in healthy doses, it is a good thing. I can definitely understand if, like with everything, extremes always are bad things. Whether it can be with the best intentions, but if it's an extreme, a lot of times it's not going to work that well for anyone. So yeah, if you guys want to debate me on this, on whether competition is a good thing or not, you're definitely welcome to do it. Also, if you ever catch me on a live stream and you just want to hop on and promote your things, or you just want to chill and talk on the live stream, you can certainly do so. Send me a message, either I'll comment on YouTube or on Facebook, and I'll privately send you a link to the live stream, and we'll just chill and talk comics for a bit. Well, that would be all for now. The video has gone on for about 35 minutes, so that means it's going to be like another 40-minute video, but at least it's not as long as other times. Before I leave, I do want to show you guys some stuff that you can follow as well. Right, if you go to Facebook, as I said before, never mind. The Truthful Comics Edition Season 2 is going to be starting up this Sunday. Hopefully, um, if there's not any interference. Like before, I've been having a lot of health issues these past couple of months ever since I had COVID, so that hasn't helped much with the productivity, but hopefully things will slowly start getting back into shape. So you can search for the Nevermind webcomic, the Truthful Comics edition. Just search for Nevermind webcomic and you'll be able to see it. As you can see, I promote other comics that I'm working on and whatnot, but it's just mainly focused on the web strip itself. So if you want to read it there, you can definitely go there. There's also the Cannon Girl, which is going to resume hopefully this Sunday as well. The plan was to alternate Nevermind and the Cannon Girl in between seasons, but since everything got so messed up with a lot of personal stuff that happened, and of course the pandemic didn't help either, things got way off track. So I'm starting to kind of get back on track again. Actually, I had posted this about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't promote it because I had the second COVID shot, and it literally had me on bed rest for like a week and a half. So you can check the Cannon Girl. You can search for it as the Cannon Girl on Facebook, and you'll find the page, and you can read the strips there. You can also search for Wepamani Wepito, a Spanish language webcomic, one of the first webcomics I did as well. It is a pretty much a parody satire of Puerto Rican life. It is in Spanish, so if you know Spanish, you can definitely check that out as well. It is going to start resuming on Saturdays again. Hopefully, this Saturday, I'm going to start it as well as a new page for Stupid the Cat as well. I'm going to upload the original web friendly Stupid the Cat strips onto Facebook on its own dedicated page as well. And of course, don't forget to check out Truthful Comics. You can search for it as Truthful Comics Respect the Arts on Facebook. Here will keep you up to date on all the new stuff that we'll be putting out, all the activities that we'll be involved with, just pretty much all the up to speed news that has to do with Truthful Comics. Anything that Manuel and myself are going to be putting out there. And of course, search for Buy Indie Comics Day, especially if you are an indie comic book creator. This is a great community where you can promote your comics. Buy Indie Comic Days was born out of, yes, the desire of doing a dedicated day, kind of like Free Comic Book Day, but yes, dedicating a day to focus on indie comics and celebrate indie and local creators that are out there grinding and hustling with their comics and their small press and whatnot. Last year, it wasn't able to be done again because of the pandemic, but on July 31st, we are aiming to do live streams, events at local comic shops that are supporting the cause as well, and just pretty much have a good time, celebrating independent comic books. And that will do it for me today. Thank you so much, as always, for listening. And if you catch me on the replay instead, thank you for giving this a look. As I mentioned before, if you have any of your own thoughts about competition in general when it comes to comics or artwork, you're more than welcome to share those thoughts as well. This is Alvaro Cortez Jr. signing off. I am going to be updating a lot of things throughout the week. I may or may not do more live streams throughout the week, depending on what happens or how I'm feeling. As I usually say, these live streams are off the cuff, they're off the top of my head, so there's no real rhyme or reasoning to them except just me kind of talking into the void, so to speak. Not that I'm calling you guys a void. I think I'm going to shut up now. Thank you all for listening. Remember to hydrate and catch you all later.